Hey guys, it's Chad here with another episode of Average to Alpha, the Average to Alpha podcast. Today we are going to discuss a different kind of goal setting. So when we normally set goals, or when I normally set goals, I set goals about what I want to accomplish, what I want to get, um, where I want to be. What I don't address and what a lot of guys don't address, I haven't really talked to a lot of guys about this, but a clear definition of who you want to be, because everything you want to accomplish is dependent on the man you are trying to become. So I'm doing this myself. I'm doing this exercise. If you want to, like this, we're all after self improvement. Obviously, with this site, with this podcast, we're all after self improvement. We want to go from average to alpha. And again, this is in comparison to no one but ourselves, our past selves. We want to be better than our past selves. So it helps to, like in all things, to create a clear vision of who you want to be. So I'm breaking this down while I'm doing this exercise, and I've got the first step, I think, is to have models. Not idols, but models. Idols are people or symbols that you look up to and almost worship. You don't see their flaws. You you think they're untouchable, and you don't want idols. You want to see the man, the woman. You want to see the people for who they are, because that makes them human. And then these skills and these characteristics that they have, you can also attain. So you want models, and I've broken down a few of the models I use. I'll go through a handful of them right now. Again, we're creating who you want to be, the person, the man, the characteristics. Like, I'm sure you have a vision of the guy that you want to be. You wish maybe you didn't care about what other people thought as much as you did. You wish you were more disciplined. You wish you were more adventurous. These kind of characteristics you want to mold into your persona and become that, and that's a good thing. You want to become bits and pieces like these models that you have. So my models. First, I'll start with Christ. Now, I look at he's the Son of God and all this stuff, obviously, but I look at the man. Like, he was a man. He was a man who resisted temptation. Very compassionate man, a tough man. He went to his death for people that he did not know, and people that were spitting on him, and people that were cursing him, and people that sent him to death. So he had an unwavering moral compass and a real dedication to his goal and his purpose. That is very admirable, and that's stuff I want. Then there's Robert E. Lee. If there's a guy you want to read about, Robert E. Lee is a great example of a man who stuck to his values and virtues no matter the cost. So he had a clear idea of what right and wrong is. He may have had to mull it over for a bit, but he knew what right or wrong is, and no matter the cost to him or his family or whatever, he stuck to that vision and stuck to those values. That's something that's missing in a lot of our lives. In my life, I need to stick to my values a lot better, and that's something that I really want to work on. So Robert E. Lee is one of the models. Then there's Theodore Roosevelt. I look up to this guy a lot. I've named the business Dare Mighty Things after one of his speeches. I look up to him primarily because of his work ethic, his action. He was constantly in motion. He was audacious. He had a great energy, and there wasn't anything that he wasn't willing to tackle. Even if he was afraid, he acted as if he wasn't, and then he went into the arena, as he called it. So with Theodore Roosevelt, I want to be a man of action. I want to be a man with a great work ethic, and that's something that I take from him. Then there's Napoleon. Napoleon, you might not call him quote unquote good, but there's a lot you can take from him. He's one of the original success stories. He was born in a time where you were born in society, was basically where you're going to die. That dictated what you were going to do in life. And so he was born on the island of Corsica at the time that it was being conquered by France. And this is a guy who just had an insane thirst for knowledge. While all the other guys were out drinking and partying and hanging, like getting women and stuff like that, his dating, quote unquote, his first love was books. He was always in books, always in books. And that in battle, that allowed him to get a Rolodex of different battle formations and all this stuff in his brain that he could just go back to. Because everything happens in cycles. So you see this battle formation, you know, okay, this is how we attack it. So Napoleon's thirst for knowledge, and obviously his ambition. The guy was an ambitious guy. And then next we go to John Wayne, both the man and his characters in movies. John Wayne had a very specific purpose with the characters he wanted to play. As soon as he got big enough, he started choosing characters that he felt young men needed to look at as role models. So tough, gritty, guys who didn't complain, guys who would do what it took, even if it meant harm to them, or even if it was the tough thing to do or the right thing to do. So John Wayne, both the man and his characters, there's a masculinity in there, pride, grit, toughness, bluntness, didn't use a lot of words, as I'm talking to a microphone using way too many words. But John Wayne, both the man and the characters, he's got a few characteristics that I want to take from and learn from and incorporate into my persona. Then the last two, and I could add more in there, but I think each person kind of encompasses everything I want to be. The last two are my folks. So my old man is a thoughtful guy. He's wise with his words. He doesn't overuse them. He's very mindful. He's aware of where he is. He has good points. He's a thoughtful guy. Reads a ton. So those are characteristics I want as well. And then my mom is very intuitive. She'll listen to conversations and she'll be able to read people very well. Those are skills that I really want, and she's very caring as well. And she's got a great sense of humor. So those are characteristics that I want to incorporate. So you've got your models. Again, mine's Christ, Robert E. Lee, Theodore Roosevelt, Napoleon, John Wayne, my old man, and my dear old mother. Have your own models. Again, I could go in there and add different guys. Got a lot of respect for a lot of different people, obviously. So we could add in more, and maybe as I go on with this little exercise, I will. Now we're getting to the man. When you're creating the man that you want to be, I do another exercise, creating my ideal day, both with what I have now and with what I would like to have or where I'd like to be in the future. And creating this clear, vivid vision and rehearsing it, going over it time and time again, helps you keep a clarity to what is important and what you're working towards. Now, I think the exercise of the man you want to become is an even more important exercise because it keeps the values that you want to have, the characteristics that you want to have. It keeps all of these things in your mind to start the day ideally or to finish the day. So then you can go out and slowly become that man. With creating this character, you want to get into a lot of detail. Breaking down mine, I want, from those characteristics I told you, I want to know my values very, very clearly and then have the courage and the discipline to stick to them no matter which way popularity is swaying. I want to be a man of true intentions. That is, I'm not doing this to impress this person. I'm not doing this because society expects this of me. I'm doing this because it's true to who I am and it's going to better my life. And then we went through Theodore Roosevelt. I want to be a worker and appreciate the work, not just doing the work for the what the work will bring me down the road. I also want to just finish reading. I finished reading Tuesdays with Morrie, and one of the things that he brings up towards the end of the book is the time we waste. If we knew that we were dying in 3 months, I don't, or if I knew I was dying in 3 months, I don't think I would spend, there's probably at least a couple hours a day that I spend on things that I would not spend it on if I was completely aware of the the fact that life is ending, the fact that with each second we're coming closer to our death, and it's something that most of us sweep under the rug and we try to ignore because it's not a nice thing to think about. But I want to be one of those guys who has that understanding that each second is precious and you use it. You don't doesn't mean you're working all the time, doesn't mean you're busting your ass all the time, but you're using your time to better yourself or better the world around you. And to second that point, I don't think you could be a guy who's on his phone, who's always thinking about something else when you're talking to people. You want to be in the moment and present all the time, especially with other people. You want to give them the respect of paying attention to what they're saying and really listening to them. And to bring all these different things together, discipline is probably the most important thing a man can have in his life. Because without discipline, you're not sticking to your values. You're not sticking to those things that are important to you. So to wrap this up, and we've jumped from this to that to this to that, the goal of this exercise, creating your ideal persona, is to identify the things that you want to personify, to the characteristics you want to embody. Using models helps. Take characteristics and values from different models throughout history, even in your own life. There's probably people you have in your own life that you really respect. And then be very specific about the different values, virtues, characteristics that you want to possess. Really write them down. Write a very detailed description of this man. And then every day read it. Work on becoming this guy. You can even work on characteristic by characteristic. I want to be better with my words. I don't want to use them frivolously. So silence could be something that I work on this week. I also don't want to worry about what is expected of, or what the masses are doing, what the masses are into. Be it social media, be it all these different distractions that people kind of ease themselves into and get lost in. I don't want to fall into that trap. So maybe decluttering my life for a week is something that I can work on. But the point is, you're not going to get what you want in life. You're not going to get the meaning, the happiness, the purpose if you don't become the man that you're trying to become. Well, we always look at the things that we want, the milestones that we want to reach, the house that we want, the land that we want, the horses that we want, all that stuff. But we rarely look at the man that we're trying to become, which will get us those things. If you're a worker, success in life is dependent on the work you're doing. So practice being a worker. Don't practice dreaming about the stuff you don't have yet. Anyway, I'll wrap it up there. So do the exercise. Think about who you're trying to become. Write down your models. Write down the characteristics that you want to possess. Review it every day. And then you're good. Start working towards that man. That's the goal. That's the goal you got to have. So that's another episode of Average to Alpha. We're basically defining your alpha. You're defining the man that you want to become. Characteristics. Maybe you want to be more personable, better with women, better in conversation, more ambitious, bigger, stronger, whatever. All these things, all these characteristics, these are things that you can possess, including confidence, including grit, toughness, a work ethic. It's just identifying it and then having the balls to actually wake up every day and do it. Resist distraction and get after these characteristics. My dog's awake. Looks like I got to go take him for a walk. I'll see you guys soon. Next time, we'll cover some other different things with Average to Alpha. Take care, guys.